As you probably know, software engineers are amongst the highest paid professionals in the world, with an average salary between $140,000 to $170,000 every single year, depending on the sources. An important question arises: why are software engineers paid so much? What makes us so different from other 9-to-5 office jobs? Well, before answering this question, let's first understand what makes up a software engineer's income. Like the vast majority of employees, software engineers are paid a salary, which makes up the bulk of their income. In addition, big companies often offer a signing bonus when an engineer joins their firm. This can range from a few $1,000s to multiple tens of thousands of dollars. In addition, they might also get end-of-year bonuses depending on their performance, which is paid out fully in cash or in stocks. These two types of bonuses are not a recurring source of revenue because they depend on your performance or they're only received in your first year. So far, everything seems pretty standard, right? I mean, most knowledge workers in the world are paid in a similar way. But the difference maker for software engineers is the equity payment that they get every single year. For those who don't know, receiving equity in a company is like receiving a tiny percentage of that company that you can then sell on the stock market. Those crazy equity payments is what puts software engineers in the upper middle class, because they can be extremely lucrative, especially if you join an early stage startup which ends up being a unicorn. For example, let's say you joined Airbnb in 2010, 2 years after its creation. And let's suppose you worked there for a total of 10 years, accumulating over 100,000 shares. Well, when Airbnb went public in 2020, at a price of $145 a share, if you would have kept all those shares from your 10 years of experience at Airbnb and sold them when the company went public, you would have made a whopping $14.5 million. This is a hypothetical scenario, of course, but there are countless examples of engineers who joined early stage startups and who made millions when the company went public. Another important thing to understand is that tech salaries operate under a trimodal state. There is this great blog post by The Pragmatic Engineer, which I'll link down below, which discusses this distribution in Europe, but it's applicable pretty much anywhere in the world. Basically, we have 3 tiers of companies. One, we've got the local companies, which pay a bit less, but they're also easier to get into. Then, there are the mid to large companies, which are like Fortune 500 companies. Their pay is above average, but it's also harder to get into. And finally, the craziness comes in the last tier of that distribution, which is, as you can probably guess, FAANG companies. They pay astronomical amounts of money for their engineers, but most of the compensation is not in the salary, it's in the equity. In fact, half or more of their total compensation might be coming from those stock options. So when you look at average salary data on Glassdoor or Indeed, it mostly represents data coming from the first or second tier companies of that trimodal distribution. The last tier is often hidden from you, but you can still find all of the data on websites like levels.fyi, which I'll link down below in the description. In the United States, entry-level software engineers can make over 6 figures straight out of college, and senior engineers can make between $300,000 to $500,000 a year by working for these big tech companies. Alright, so now that we understand tech salaries and how they're composed, let's answer our original question. Why are software engineers paid so much? Well, if you're familiar with Naval Ravikant, a very successful tech investor and entrepreneur, he mentions that there are 4 main leverages that you can utilize to multiply your money. First, there is capital. So you use and invest the money to make even more money by investing in the stock market, for example. Second, there is labor. So you hire more people to produce more goods at a faster rate, which you can then sell for even more money. Fairly straightforward. The last 2 levers are the most powerful ones, and they are content and code. Content and code are very similar in the sense that they are produced only once and they can scale up to infinity, since the distribution costs are close to 0. That is the main reason why software engineers are paid as much as they're paid, because software has the highest profit margin out of any industry. Developers build the product once, and then it can be distributed to millions, if not billions of users. Of course, this is an oversimplification since a product needs updates, maintenance, and so on, but at the end of the day, what is money? Money is an exchange of value. Software engineers are paid according to the value that they produce, which explains why senior engineers are often paid 2 to 3 times more than junior ones. It's simply because a senior engineer probably produces 2 to 3 times more value than a junior engineer. Tech companies are also very profitable due to the insane profit margins that they get. So what do? They just reinvest their money to keep growing, because a tech company that does not grow might as well be dead in the eyes of investors. So, since the main profit center for a tech company is their technology, they have to invest in software engineers to keep improving their technology and to beat the competition. It's why many people recommend working for tech companies which have a strong engineering culture and where tech is not simply seen as a cost center. For example, it would be preferable to work for a tech company like Netflix over an insurance company, because Netflix's main product is Netflix, their technology, which is made by software engineers, while an insurance company doesn't sell technology, it sells insurance. So engineers are more vulnerable to layoffs and cost reduction measures when working for that insurance company, because they're simply seen as a cost center. It's clear that nowadays software engineers are very highly paid, but how long is that going to last with the arrival of artificial intelligence? I hate making predictions because nobody really knows what's going on except for the folks at OpenAI or the higher ups in tech companies. But let's make a prediction as a thought experiment. Let's assume we reach AGI, artificial general intelligence, and that AI can do most of the tasks of a software engineer. Well, at the moment, one great software engineer can probably replace 5 to 10 mediocre ones, which is one of the reasons why the junior market isn't too hot right now. With AGI, one software engineer will probably be able to replace 2 or 3 times more people, so like 20 to 30 people in total, because AI is going to get so good at doing junior level coding tasks. But the thing is, top senior software engineers are going to become even more sought after for their expertise, because AI is going to struggle replicating that. Currently, it can probably write the syntax of all programming languages in the world, but it really struggles at problem solving. At the end of the day, great software engineers are just that, problem solvers. And coding is simply a tool that they use to solve those specific problems. So assuming all of this happens, which is a very bold assumption to make, well, the salary gap is just going to increase between the different levels of experience. Junior engineers might get paid a bit less than they currently do, especially if their job gets automated away by AI. But I think that senior software engineers are going to be paid a lot more because their knowledge and expertise is going to be in high demand and very hard to replace. So, what can you do as a software engineer to get on the right part of that distribution? Because competition is going to get fierce. In my opinion, the best thing an engineer can do is adopt the mentality of being a problem solver over the mentality of being a simple frameworker. Your tech stack truly doesn't matter. There is so much arguing on Twitter on why that tech stack is better than the other one, and so on. Whether you work on the front end, on the back end, whether you write JavaScript or Rust, it really doesn't matter. The important thing is to learn how to solve difficult problems and you'll become invaluable. In addition, I know that the software engineer's pay is very attractive, but please don't get into the field just for the money. Because yes, the money is good, but an engineer who is genuinely passionate about their craft and who loves learning new stuff is going to destroy you 10 times out of 10. If you're currently hesitating and you don't know if software engineering is right for you, check out this video where I give you my full thoughts on choosing software engineering in 2024. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.